In 1962, a young coin collector named George Walton walked into a coin shop in North Carolina with $5 in his pocket and walked out with what would become one of the most valuable coins in American history. But here's the twist. At the time, everyone thought the coin he bought was completely worthless. A clever fake that had fooled collectors for decades. What happened next would shake the numismatic world to its core and turn a simple nickel into a $5 million treasure. If you stay with me until the end of this video, I'm going to reveal the incredible story of the 1913 Liberty Head nickel. A coin that was never supposed to exist, was hidden in secret for over 40 years, and became the center of one of the most dramatic authentication battles in coin collecting history. Trust me, the ending will leave you stunned. Our story begins in 1912 at the United States Mint in Philadelphia. The Liberty Head nickel had been America's 5-cent piece since 1883, featuring Lady Liberty on one side and the Roman numeral V surrounded by stars on the other. But by 1912, the Treasury Department had decided it was time for a change. They commissioned sculptor James Earl Fraser to create a new design, what we now know as the Buffalo nickel or Indian head nickel. The new coin was scheduled to debut in 1913, which meant the Liberty head design was officially discontinued at the end of 1912. But here's where our mystery begins. Someone at the Philadelphia Mint, and we still don't know exactly who, decided to strike a small number of Liberty head nickels dated 1913. This wasn't authorized by the Treasury Department. This wasn't part of any official mint production. Someone, working in secret, created coins that were never supposed to exist. For years, rumors circulated in collector circles about these mysterious 1913 Liberty head nickels. Most experts dismissed them as fantasy coins or clever fakes. After all, why would the mint produce coins with a discontinued design? The official records showed no production of Liberty head nickels in 1913. It seemed impossible. But here's where it gets stranger. In 1919, a well-known coin dealer named Samuel Brown placed an advertisement in a numismatic publication offering to pay $500, equivalent to about $7,000 today, for any genuine 1913 Liberty head nickel. This was an astronomical sum for a nickel, especially one that most people believed didn't exist. What the collecting community didn't know was that Samuel Brown already owned all 5 known examples of the 1913 Liberty head nickel. His advertisement was a brilliant marketing strategy designed to create buzz and prove that no additional specimens existed. Brown had somehow acquired these coins, possibly directly from a mint employee, and kept them hidden while he built their mystique. Brown's plan worked perfectly. The advertisement created a sensation in the coin collecting world. Suddenly, everyone was talking about the legendary 1913 Liberty head nickel. But Brown kept the coins locked away, showing them only to select collectors and dealers, always maintaining an aura of mystery around their existence. Years passed, and Brown continued to play his cards close to his chest. He would occasionally display the coins at major coin shows, always under heavy security, always generating tremendous excitement. But he never sold them. He understood that their value lay not just in their rarity, but in their story, the mystery of how they came to exist and why only 5 were made. But here's where our story takes a dramatic turn. In 1944, Samuel Brown was killed in a car accident while driving to a coin show in North Carolina. In his car, investigators found one of the 5 1913 Liberty head nickels. The other 4 were discovered in his estate. For the first time in decades, these legendary coins would be available for purchase. The Brown estate decided to sell the coins individually rather than as a set, ensuring that each one would have its own unique story and command the highest possible price. This decision would scatter the 5 coins to the 4 corners of the collecting world and create decades of intrigue as collectors tried to track down their whereabouts. This brings us back to young George Walton in that North Carolina coin shop in 1962. Walton had heard about the Brown collection and the legendary 1913 Liberty head nickels. When he spotted what appeared to be one of these coins in a dealer's case, priced at just $5, he couldn't believe his eyes. The dealer insisted it was a fake, a clever reproduction that wasn't worth much more than face value. But something about the coin intrigued Walton. For over 40 years, Walton carried that coin with him everywhere. He showed it to dozens of experts, submitted it to authentication services, and pleaded with anyone who would listen that his coin was genuine. But time and again he was told the same thing. It was a fake, a reproduction, not worth the metal it was struck on. The problem was that Walton's coin showed significant damage. It had been scratched, corroded, and worn from decades of handling. The surface quality was so poor that traditional authentication methods couldn't definitively determine its authenticity. Every expert who examined it concluded that no genuine 1913 Liberty Head nickel would be in such poor condition. But Walton never gave up. He knew in his heart that his coin was real. He'd done his research, studied the Brown collection, and was convinced that his nickel was the fifth coin, the one that had been in Brown's car during the fatal accident in 1944. He theorized that the coin had been damaged in the crash and somehow made its way into circulation before ending up in that North Carolina coin shop. Tragically, George Walton died in a car accident in 2003, still fighting to prove his coin's authenticity. His family inherited the controversial nickel along with his passion for proving its legitimacy. They continued his quest, spending thousands of dollars on expert opinions and authentication attempts. But here's where modern technology saved the day. In 2006, Walton's heirs convinced the American Numismatic Association to subject the coin to advanced scientific analysis. Using high-resolution imaging, spectrographic analysis, and comparison with known genuine specimens, experts were finally able to look past the surface damage and examine the coin's fundamental characteristics. The results were shocking. Despite decades of being dismissed as a fake, George Walton's battered nickel displayed all the microscopic details and manufacturing characteristics of a genuine 1913 Liberty Head nickel. The coin that had been ridiculed for over 40 years was suddenly authenticated as one of the 5 legendary specimens. Most people thought this story would end with a simple authentication and a modest increase in value. After all, the coin was heavily damaged, barely recognizable in some areas. How much could a beat-up nickel really be worth? But what happened next stunned even the most experienced coin collectors. In 2013, exactly 100 years after it was illegally struck, George Walton's 1913 Liberty Head nickel sold at auction for over $3 million. But that wasn't the end of its incredible journey. In 2018, another of the 5 known specimens, this one in pristine condition, sold for an unprecedented $5 million, making it one of the most valuable coins in the world. Today, all 5 1913 Liberty Head nickels are accounted for, each with its own fascinating story. One belongs to the Smithsonian Institution, where it's displayed as part of the National Numismatic Collection. Another is owned by a private collector who has loaned it to the American Numismatic Association for public display. The remaining 3 are in private hands, treasured by collectors who understand their incredible historical significance. But here's the most amazing part of this entire story. These coins were created by an unknown mint employee over a century ago, struck in secret and distributed through channels we may never fully understand. They represent one of the greatest mysteries in American numismatics, a puzzle that continues to fascinate collectors and historians. If you thought the story of the 1913 Liberty Head nickel was incredible, wait until you hear about the 1933 Double Eagle, the gold coin that was ordered destroyed by President Roosevelt but somehow escaped the melting pot to become the subject of an international legal battle involving the Secret Service, the auction houses, and the world's most determined collectors. Click here to discover how one illegal gold coin sparked a 20-year federal investigation that reads like a Hollywood thriller.